Hey y'all, it's Liz Pack, Collegewise Austin. I hate taking tests, even a personality test. SAT, ACT, forget it. I would rather shave an eyebrow off. If you're anything like me with that massive test anxiety, then we're gonna go through some tips on how you can manage it before, during, and after the test. Let me tell you what the SAT and what the ACT is not. It is not predicting your intelligence. It is not gonna help you get a date to prom. It is not going to affect your future job. It is just a test we have to take for some colleges in order to mark our applications complete and get them read. For some schools, yes, the SAT and the ACT matters. For those highly selectives, Harvards, the Columbias of the world, it does matter. That's a whole nother issue in and of itself, but that's the reality we're living in. But if you really want to avoid it, there are now over 1,000 test optional colleges. So if you took it and you didn't do that great, we can sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. I won't tell anybody either. I need you to understand, if nothing else after this video, that the SAT and the ACT are not going to determine the outcomes of your life. It is not an intelligence test. It is not going to predict your success in your future job. And honestly, if you're still bragging about your 1,600 on the SAT once you're a freshman in college, we gotta stop. But you can't just walk into an SAT or an ACT blind. It's not a personality test like I thought it was. No one told me to prepare for it. It's what I tell myself is why I didn't do well on it, but that's probably not actually true. Take a practice test of each. Most of you take a practice SAT or a practice ACT through school. That's great, but you wanna make sure you take one of each because you know then which one you like better than the other. There's no university out there that's gonna require you to take an SAT over an ACT. You should be taking the one that plays to your strengths. Do you wanna know a Collegewise pro tip? In order to really reduce anxiety on a test, you have to study for it. I know, telling you to study for an SAT or an ACT is not earth-shattering advice, but you'd be shocked how many kids don't take me up on that advice, and then I get to come back and say, I told you so. Crossing your fingers and giving a bless up is not what I'm talking about in terms of preparation. We're talking Khan Academy. We're talking getting a tutor. Maybe a teacher's gonna help you. Maybe it's Collegewise Academic Services. Something. That is the preparation I'm talking about. We all know what can happen in those testing centers. Do you have a pencil? Pretty easy, huh? So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take a diagnostic, you're gonna find a tutor or someone to help you, and you're gonna prepare. And you're gonna thank me afterwards. You're welcome. Many of you are gonna end up taking the SAT or the ACT more than once, probably 2 to 3 times. So it's important to have a routine. Get yourself psyched up. At its most practical level, having a routine the night before, at the very least, just make sure that you don't forget something and panic the next day. Did you show up at Travis High School instead of Lake Travis High School? Did you show up without a number 2 pencil? Did you show up with a prohibited calculator? Did you show up with no calculator? That sucks. Here's a basic routine. Have a healthy dinner the night before and get a good night's sleep, obviously. And check your backpack the night before and before you leave. Have your 6 essentials, all right? Your number 2 pencil, your photo ID, your test ticket, a calculator with batteries, something to eat, and something to drink. Boom. And I know many of you are not accustomed to waking up early. This is an early morning test. It sucks, I get that, but wake up early, get to the test early. Make sure you find the correct high school, you find the correct room you're supposed to be in, you pick your favorite desk in the room, you pop in a little bit of Beyonce before the test starts. Who knows? The world is your oyster. But have some type of routine before you walk into that test to get out those nerves. You've listened to my first 2 tips. Now you're in the test. You're still getting anxious. Liz, you weren't helpful for me at all. I got you. Put your test down, put your pencil down, look at something else in the room. You have to distract yourself. Focus on that dude's ugly shoes. Look at that kid's haircut. Look at the clock. Think about something fun that you're gonna do afterwards. You're gonna treat yourself to pizza, because that's what I would do. When you're in that moment of zen, you have one word you need to remember: super score. Even if you think you failed the math section, you're really freaking out, remember, the verbal section, the reading section is completely separate. You might blow that test out of the water on that part. And then you can take the test again in the future and combine that super high verbal score with a super high math score that you get later on. So, you not doing well on one section, it's not a problem right now. It's a problem for future us. Keep going, don't tap out. That's it. I hope some of these tips help keep your anxiety as low as possible. I hope you share this video, or not. I don't want to stress you out. I'm Liz Pack. I'm with Collegewise. If you want to find out more about what we do and how we can help, go to collegewise.com. Thanks, y'all.